There's an old Chinese proverb, hear and forget, see and remember, do and understand. This kit, spread out before me, enables the pupil to do electromagnetism, and so we hope to understand it. It's intended for various stages of the Nuffield Physics 5-year course, the 11 to 16-year-old. Although it's simple, it provides a surprising variety of experiments, getting away from the stereotyped, and you'll find it encourages in the pupil an inquisitive approach from the very start. This entire kit contains enough materials for 32 pupils working in pairs. Basic to the kit is this reel of wire, 26-gauge PVC copper. All connections and coils are made with it, and it's expendable. The bib strippers, of course, cut and strip the insulation. This power pack gives a low voltage output, but at a high current, up to 10 amps, so that coils only need a few turns to get enough flux. It's quite safe to short-circuit the supply with 10 inches or so of wire. The output on open circuit is 1 volt DC across here, 1 volt AC here, and 2 volts AC across here. Conventional bar magnets are provided for some of the experiments. But the most useful magnets are these, made of a ceramic material called magnedur. They have large pole faces and a high coercivity, so they're not weakened by pushing like poles together. This iron yoke supports the magnedur magnets. A small, cheap plotting compass for exploring magnetic fields. The C-cores are of a special laminated iron for electromagnet and transformer experiments. These are the parts which go to make up a moving coil ammeter, an electric motor, and a dynamo. The rest of the kit consists of everyday materials, cardboard, a pepper pot for iron filings, scissors, cotton, and so on. Of course, the experiments themselves will be familiar to you. What's needed is to direct the pupils into doing them. So here I have a typical pupil, and he's going to show us a variety of experiments, some of which, since in a film we must save time, have already been partially set up. 2 cotton loops are used to suspend a magnet. Bringing up the other magnet, he can study magnetic attraction and repulsion. Now he substitutes the plotting compass. Next, the nature of the magnetic field with iron filings. It's best to sprinkle the iron filings onto the card first, and then to place the card over the magnets. The magnets invariably collect iron filings, but these are easily removed with plasticine. What about the field due to a current? A 10-inch length of wire, threaded through the pinhole in the card, is connected to the power pack. A useful dodge is to give the filings some residual magnetism. They then settle more easily along the lines of the field. Of course, the plotting compass shows the field readily and indicates its direction. Now quickly look at these other configurations. The plain coil. This leads to a current indicating device, an elementary form of meter. Now the solenoid. The solenoid brings us to the electromagnet. About 10 turns are enough. The pupil should be asked to deduce the polarity in advance, and then check with the plotting compass. Wipe the faces of the C-cores first with the thumb to get intimate contact. It'll lift 5 kilos easily. It's more than I can. Let's switch off. The force on a current-carrying conductor is shown by this simple catapult effect. Pupils should be asked to work out the relation between the direction of the field, the current, and the force. Let's put this to a practical use in the moving coil ammeter and the DC motor. The aluminium tube is insulated with sellotape. A small band is cut from a rubber tube and slid over the aluminium. The bared end of the wire is secured under the rubber band. Wind on 10 turns. Bare and loop the end and push it under the rubber band. Now for the brushes. Slide the armature in, insert the spindle, place the yoke and magnets in position, connect up, and away it goes. Here are the ammeter parts. The first stage is to wind the armature. 2 or 3 tight turns around the aluminium tube, leaving about 2 foot spare. Then 10.5 turns round the wood. Now the spirals, the hairsprings of the ammeter. Rather difficult this, so patience is needed. Then the armature is mounted, and the spare wire taken under the head of each rivet. Place the yoke and magnets in position. Insert the straw indicating needle. Connect the rheostat. And there's the ammeter working. Now some experiments on electromagnetic induction. If a wire moves into or out of a field, is an electromotive force generated? Let's see. With this 75 millivolt instrument, there's a slight but positive movement of the needle. Can we increase the effect? I suggest that when teaching, you get the pupils to discuss this and guide them to the idea of more turns. Next, the motor as a dynamo. You see, quite a good deflection. Even more effective, a demonstration of making and breaking the magnetic circuit through the C-core. Substitute the electromagnet. The effect is now obtained by switching on and off. We get the same effect with alternating current, of course, as you'll see in a moment. First, I light up this 2.5 volt bulb from the 1 volt supply, and you'll see it glow dimly. Now, I make a step-up transformer, finishing off the 20 turns of the primary. This I also connect to the 1 volt supply. Place it against the other C core with 50 turns on the secondary. We have our step-up transformer. There is the other 2.5 volt bulb, fully lit. Well, by now I'm sure you realize that this entire kit provides plenty to work on. But may I suggest that you don't use your experience to direct the pupils with precise instructions. See how far they can get, given a rough outline of what to do. This takes longer, but it's much more rewarding than for ever going by the book. This way, they're learning to think and do real physics.